Hello, Thunder Wizards. So today we're going to be talking about a manifestation ritual using rune magic in order to manifest large chunks of money. I've chosen $10,000 because that is, if you ask a lot of people, if you could snap your fingers and have, a certain amount of money to deal with problems, what would it be? $10,000 is one of the most popular answers. It's a round number. It makes sense. It fits in the brain when you say it. It feels like a lot, but it doesn't feel like some unattainable amount. So that is the amount that I've chosen for this, but don't feel attached to that. And I'm going to explain some things. So this video is for those people who need the nuclear option. If you're like me and you've spent decades of your life struggling with money, struggling to manifest money, and having seemingly bad luck, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, the world and everybody in the universe seems against you, and you just seem to, no matter how hard you try, you just seem to have bad luck with money. And obviously, if that's the case, then you probably have debt, and anyway, this is for you. Listen, you can go onto YouTube and you can, type in manifestation, and you're going to run into a lot of seemingly very happy, very positive, very confident people who talk about how I did this and I did that, and now I have $1 million. And, there are people out there who have been trained well by their upbringing. And so their unconscious mind and their subconscious mind and their conscious mind serve them. And so they can do things like, I've decided to do this and have this, and then it seems to magically happen. And then they tell you how to do it, and then you go try it and nothing happens. So this is the nuclear option if you're like me, because I am one of those people that, for the majority of my life, up until very recently, no matter how hard I tried, no matter whether it was hard work or having the right job or marketing myself or manifesting or meditating or positive affirmations, nothing seemed to work. In fact, nothing did work. Now, in the Manifestation Mastery course, which if you want to learn about that, you can go here, I teach you why that is. And so what I'm doing is I'm the guy who's teaching manifestation for people who have bad luck when it comes to manifestation. If you don't have a problem deciding what you want and manifesting it, you don't need to listen to me. This is for those of you that you've tried everything and nothing works. So this is a very powerful ritual, and it's a hack, really. It's a hack into your unconscious mind to give you the power to manifest big chunks of money when you need it. So I'm going to be sharing with you. It's important that you listen to the whole video. Watch it all the way to the end. Because at the end, I'm going to share with you some other ways that you can even make this nuclear option even more powerful. And so we're going to be sharing that in a later video. But for now, you need to start with this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using the magic of runes to help you manifest large chunks of money. So what are the runes? You may know of the runes as those funny looking alphabet symbols that you see in Lord of the Rings that the dwarves use. That's actually runic writing. The runic writing is what was used in Northern Europe before the Italic script or the Latin script, the script from the Romans, was adopted. Before that time, in much of Northern Europe, they used an alphabet which we now know of as the runes. So the runes themselves, before they were used as an alphabet, they were used as magical symbols and as magical sounds. And even before the advent of writing, the pre-Christian tribal people of Northern Europe who lived in their indigenous shamanic spiritual path, they used sacred sounds to manifest reality. And these sacred sounds in this tradition is called the runes. Rune means secret or whisper. I'm going to explain to you what both of those mean. But if you're not familiar with runes, go do some research on that. I talk a lot about runes on this channel, so you can search within this channel and learn about the runes. I'm not going to get into that right now. So we need to understand what the runes are. So the runic sounds and their corresponding symbols have a direct vibrational connection to the energies that make up the entire universe. So the universe that we live in is manifested from these sacred sound syllables. Now, we humans took those sacred sound syllables and created speech from it. And there was a point in time when speech was magical, that just speaking something created reality. We live in a different time now, so we're not as connected to energy as we used to be unless we do a lot of energy work or spiritual work. So chanting runes and working with runes can directly connect you to that energy pattern, those vibrations. And with practice, you can actually speak into existence or think into existence what you want. And this is one of the powers of rune magic. So we need to understand what runes really are. Runes are transformational energies. So the reason why I've said that this ritual is going to be the nuclear option is because we're really kind of cheating here. We're going straight to the structure of the universe, which is made up of life force energy. And we are taking the pillars of the sounds that are continuously creating the universe, and we are tapping into them. Now, what ends up happening when you work with runes is that the runes transform you. So they're not just something that you just grab and use. No, they're powers in and of themselves. In fact, one might even say they're more powerful than the gods. They are incredibly powerful. And they are themselves transformational. So we're going to be doing two major things with this rune ritual for money today. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be vibrating that rune, which is connected directly to what we now call money, but really it means resources. But the main resource that we use in our modern society is money. But this essence of the power of resources is what this rune that we're going to be tapping into, which is the rune Fehu. If you don't know what it looks like this. This rune of Fehu is the rune that connects us to what we now call money. And what the runes do, besides vibrate on the level of what they represent, is they also transform us. Because if you are somebody who is continuously running into problems when it comes to manifesting money, it means that you have a conflict in your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is the part of your mind that really is manifesting everything all the time. So when somebody grows up and is taught well by their parents, by their society, by their environment, their family, then what ends up happening is that all three of their minds are functioning together in unison, and they have no conflict. They don't have a problem when they decide, you know what, I want this, or I need that, because they know inherently that they deserve it. There's no fear involved. There's no worrying. There's no desperation. There's just this belief that, you know what, I want this and I'm going to have it. And so they make that determination. They start taking action towards it, and magically it happens. They say, yeah, I said I was going to be a millionaire, and now I'm a millionaire. To them, it makes perfect sense. Now that's at the extreme level of somebody who's been taught by their upbringing and their society to be able to do that, and all three of their minds are working together. We are probably not at that level. We're somewhere in some range, either close to that or far away from that. Now, if you're like me and you've struggled most of your life to manifest, it means that there is a conflict in your unconscious mind. So you can say, I want to do this, or you can chant this, or you can, give yourself positive affirmations, or I believe, and you can stir up all of your feelings. I feel good about money, and nothing happens. It means that what normally would work for somebody who is well put together and who's in alignment with all three of their selves, for you, what happens is that there is a conflict, there's a break. And so for you, you don't understand. Why does nothing work for me? So this is going to be the nuclear option for that. And we're going to be doing two things. We're going to be tapping into this magical energy force, which is directly connected to resources. And we're going to be using that not only to manifest what we need in terms of resources, but we are also going to let that power transform us. Because the runes exist on a plane where there is no conflict. We talk about people not being authentic. And in order to function in society, we all have to be inauthentic at times. When you go to the store and you're in a bad mood and the person behind the counter wants to, pretends to be your friend, which is when I was, I'm 55. And so when I was a kid and growing up, what happened is everybody called you ma'am and sir, and they were there to serve you. And now the thing is, for some reason, everybody behind a counter has to pretend to be your friend. And I can tell they've been trained to do that. You go in and you're bagging up the groceries and they say, so are you going to watch the big game tonight? Have you got anything planned for today? You can tell they've been trained to do that, because now what people want is people want to be friends with you. And I don't want you to be my friend. You're there to just simply bag my groceries, or, it's nothing personal. This is business. Please don't try and get into my life. So that annoys the crap out of me. So in order to function in society, we have to be inauthentic at times. And, I can't go through the line and say, please don't do that. Please don't. I know that somebody told you had to say that to me. Please don't pretend to be my friend. I don't watch football. Please stop pretending like you care about what I'm watching on television. I can't do that. If I were to be that authentic, I wouldn't be able to function in society. And at some point, somebody would crack me over the head or lock me up just for being so, contrary. So, there are times when, as I go through my day and somebody says, so do you have any big plans for the weekend? I'll say, no, not really. Did you watch the big game? Oh, gosh, no, I didn't. But hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day. When really what I want to do is say, please just, bag my groceries. Thank you. So there are times when we have to be inauthentic. We have to lie in order to get along in this society. We have to pretend to care. We have to pretend to be in a good mood. We have to pretend to like people. We have to, if you're in a relationship, right, and your wife or your husband is being a pain in the ass, or you just can't stand them, or, they need to shave, or they don't smell good, you, in order to function, you smile, you tell them that you love them, and you do things you don't want to do. That's something we have to do. The runes live in a completely different environment. The runes live in a dimension where there is no untruth. And so what happens when you chant the runes, regardless of which rune it is, what ends up happening is that you become transformed. You become transformed, and if there is conflict within you regarding whatever this rune is connected to, you will have to face that conflict. So I'm using the word transformation because as you chant this Fehu rune in the way that I'm going to give to you in a moment, what will happen is, number one, you will initiate that rune to go out and bring resources or money to you. But the rune is going to also go inside of you, into your unconscious mind, and it is going to ferret out the conflict. Because if you are somebody who struggles with money, if you always feel poor and you don't have enough money and you don't have enough success and you have bad luck and nothing ever works out for you and the government's doing this to you and people are doing that and the universe is cruel and people, if that is your experience, and that was my experience, if that is your experience, it means that you have a conflict with yourself about money. And when you chant this rune, that conflict is going to want to come to the surface. You will have to transform, and it may be a challenging process. I'm just telling you right out now. The transformation process may be challenging for you, but that's okay. It's like, if you eat bad fish, you got to puke it up. Otherwise, you're going to get really sick. So same thing here. If you have a conflict in your unconscious mind about money, meaning unconscious means you're not aware of it. That's the most important thing. You're not consciously aware of it. Consciously, you don't have a problem. You know you need money and you want money. On an unconscious level, meaning on a level deep beneath your conscious awareness where you don't know all the stuff that's gone on since you were a little kid, you have a conflict. There's a part of you that is fighting the idea of having money. So when you chant this rune, that is going to come up. So there's a lot more that we need to talk about. If you really, really are serious about this, then we need to talk about this more, and we'll do that in the next video. For now, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you through what the ritual is. So this is the level 1 ritual for using the rune Fehu to attract money. There's a second level ritual, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But for now, I'm just going to share this one with you. So here's what you do. Fehu is associated with the northern direction. As we teach in Thunder Shamanism, there are 9 worlds. Actually, it's not just those of us in Thunder Shamanism. This is the understanding of how the universe is made up all over the world. My ancestors, the pre-Christian Norse people, believed that the universe as we know it is made up of 9 dimensions or 9 worlds. And so the world where Fehu comes from is going to be in the north. And I don't have time to talk about it now. I'll talk about it in a later video. Or you can, if you want to, you can go onto my channel and you will find why Fehu is placed in the north. We won't talk about that for right now. Just take my word for it. That's where you want to place Fehu. Fehu is connected with the god Odin. Odin is also connected with the north. And the north is the realm of the primordial waters, the waters of life. These waters are not waters as we know them. They are waters in the sense of they bring nourishment to help the rest of the universe manifest. It is energy as it's coming into manifestation. It's not quite manifested yet, but it is now beginning to manifest, so technically it is part of the manifested universe. The energy that comes before that is what my ancestors called Gnunga Gap, or the yawning chasm, or the void. The void isn't emptiness, it's pure potential that hasn't manifested. We can't survive in the void because we'll be torn to pieces, because we are individuals. We have identities, we have bodies. So if we were to go to Gnunga Gap, the void, we would, literally explode into nothingness. So the first aspect of the void coming into manifestation comes in the north, which is the waters of life. And this is still, we couldn't physically go there. If we went into the northern world, the northern dimension, the dimension of the north, what would happen is we would still come apart, because this is energy that's just beginning to manifest. But this is where resources come from. Resources are coming into manifestation. And so if you are without money, it means you need to manifest. You need to bring into your reality something that doesn't exist yet. And so this is one of the reasons why Fehu is in the north. So what you're going to do is, you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to go outside somewhere if you can and go to a body of water. Like for me, it's real simple. I walk down to the beach, there's this big giant ocean. But maybe you have a river or a stream or a lake or a pond. It doesn't matter. As long as it is a pleasant place for you to be. Like a swimming pool, maybe not, but some kind of natural source of water, clean, fresh water, where if you go to it, you feel refreshed. This has a connection to the power of the waters of life. So you either go there and face that, or if you don't have that, then you're just simply going to face in the northern direction. And for a total of 9 days, okay, for a total of 9 days, you are going to do this following ritual. You are going to face the north, and you are going to say, Odin, Vili, and Ve. I invoke the power of Fehu to bring to me $10,000. I surrender to the transformation that is necessary to make this happen. So it is commanded, so it shall be done. Okay, so I've put up in writing, so go back if you need to and pause, copy that down. You can read it as you do it. And then I want you to, after you do that, when you're done with that, what you're going to do then is you're going to trace onto your third eye the Fehu rune. So if you're not familiar with what the Fehu rune looks like, here it is. And so remember, you want it to face out. You don't necessarily want it to face in, you want it to face out. So what you're going to do is, if this is how it is when you're, this, right? You're going to turn it around. So you're going to draw the Fehu symbol like this. Okay? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to face the water or face the north, and you're going to chant what I just told you to chant, and then you're going to draw Fehu on your forehead. You're going to do that once a day for 9 days. Once a day for 9 days. Okay, so that is the level 1. You can go ahead and try that if you want. Again, do it for 9 days. Let me go through some things that may be helpful for you to know as you go into this. So one of the questions that I've always had, ever since I, started following spiritual practice, is questions about manifestation and why, for me, manifestation was so difficult. Because I would this manifestation, law of attraction, the secret, none of this is new. This is what spiritual people, or what we might call the New Age, has been teaching for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. There's nothing new about it. But clearly there are some people that have difficulty doing it. Now, what you hear in the law of attraction, which I talk about extensively, which I believe is a limitation, is that you are told that what you need to do is just believe that you have it, and when you think about whatever it is you want, money, cars, houses, love, whatever it is, you have to put these happy feelings. And imagine that you have it, believe that you have it, and feel really good about it. Here's the problem with that. Problem with that is that if you're like me and you've been, gone through difficulties when it comes to manifesting, you may not be able to make yourself happy and believe it. So right there, you're screwed. Because if, you find yourself doubting, then all of a sudden you're going to go, oh, it didn't work because I doubted. And then you have this easy out of why it didn't work. Well, I didn't believe it. I didn't manifest enough happy feelings to connect with it. So let me just share with you, you don't have to be happy. That idea of if you put happy feelings toward and said the happy feelings out, it'll come to you. That's not that that's untrue. It only works for people whose three minds are united and they don't have any conflict. And I'm here to tell you that in my experience, the vast majority of people out there have conflict when it comes to manifesting something, usually everything. So let's get rid of that mind game of, am I feeling right? Do I have the happy feelings? Let's get rid of that, because that's just a trap that's just going to hold you back. My experience is that you don't have to have the happy feelings. If you have them, great. Happy feelings, in my experience, do one thing very well, which is they motivate you to take action towards what you want. That's a good thing. That's the reason why those happy people who seem to have it all together, who can say, you know what, I wanted $1 million and I went out and got it, is because they're aligned. They don't have a conflict. So it's easy for them to feel happy about something that they want. It's also easy for them to go and take action because they know they're going to get it. So they just go out and take action towards it. If you have doubt, there are some people, and some of you I know are listening, when you start to think about making your life better, becoming successful, you start to go through a lot of conflict. You might even get depressed. You might even, the more you think about changing your life and getting more successful, you might find yourself wanting to just stay home and watch television because you feel so bad. That means you've got major unconscious conflict. So one of the things we need to do is just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is the great thing about ritual and runes. Ritual and runes cuts through all of that mental game about having to feel good and goes right into the hacking of the unconscious mind. And you noticed in the chant there that the first part of it is that you're invoking the power of the Fehu rune in order to attract money, and then you are consciously stating to the universe that you are prepared for the transformation that it will bring to you, which means that whatever conflict you have about money in your unconscious mind, meaning that you're not aware of it, whatever conflict you have, like you don't think you're worth it, you don't deserve money, money is bad, we have all kinds of things. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know what they are. But if you have conflict, trust me, it's something like that is in there. The second part of that chant, when you say, and I surrender to the transformation necessary to achieve it, you are giving the rune permission to go into your unconscious mind and bring to your awareness the conflict you have, the parts of you that have beliefs like you don't deserve it, life isn't fair, I don't deserve money, whatever it is. Those will now be dealt with, and it might be challenging for you. Because what happened is that earlier in your life, you adopted a belief out of fear in order to survive. So you shouldn't feel guilty about this. There was some point in your life where it made sense to you to latch onto some belief, the universe is unfair, rich people are bad, whatever it was. You latched onto that. Maybe you were taught it. That got lodged in your unconscious mind. You grew up and now you have this reality of I need to make money. But no matter how hard you try, you seem to run into some unseen wall. That unseen wall is your unconscious. The rune and the chant that I gave you will go in and hack that so that you will be forced to face your unconscious feelings and patterns, and then you will have to let it go. So that's why you have to do this for 9 days, at least 9 days. I mean, you could do it for 10 days or 30 days or 40 days or for a year. In fact, the longer that you do it, the more power it's going to have. But for now, you're just going to start with 9 days because 9 represents all of the 9 worlds. And 9 represents the 9 facets of your personality. So at the very least, you are starting a process. Okay? Now, I said $10,000. like I said, because that's a number that works for a lot of people. But pick whatever amount you know that you need to do. So here's the next part. Before you do anything, what you need to do is you need to go and write down exactly what it is that you need. I mean, calculate. How much are you in debt? How much money do you need right now to get you out of that hole and get the dentist appointment or get the car payment or get the, figure out what that is. Again, $10,000 is not uncommon for a lot of people. So figure out exactly what that is. That's important. Because what ends up happening is when people want to manifest, especially if they come from this place of conflict, they're already desperate. They're already feeling fearful. They already feel like it's not going to happen. They're trying to convince themselves, desperately to find some way to do it. What ends up happening is that people overreach and they go, okay, well, I want to win the lottery. I want to be a millionaire. So I want to manifest $5 million. Now, money is just money and that's just a number. But how you relate to that is going to have a huge impact on it. Because the truth of the matter is that very few people need $5 million to be comfortable and happy. They might need 10 or 20,000. That might be a very realistic thing that they need. So you have to focus on what you are going to believe, number one. In other words, I can see myself having that amount of money and using this for it and benefiting from it. And, you'll have this feeling of that I deserve that. Even though there might be some conflict, it still makes sense. But $1 million, $5 million, a part of you is going to go, I don't need that. That's it. That's unreasonable. And then you'll sabotage it. Okay, so start with something that you know. It's also important that, a lot of times people are so in debt and so screwed up about money that they don't even know. They don't even have a real accounting about how much money they actually need. They may want $1 million, but they may only need 5,000. So sit down with your, get up your bank account and your credit card and your bills and look at it and go, all right, in order for me to be comfortable, this is how much I need. That is really important because then you get to a specific number. The universe likes specific numbers because, when you're just throwing out there, I need $1 million, you don't really know what that means, to be honest. How many people here know what $1 million is like and what you would do with it? Truth is, once you get out of what you know how to do, it might be a gazillion, like in the Mike Myers movie. He wants a gazillion dollars. What the hell does that mean? $1 million for most of us, we don't know what the hell that means. 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, we know what that means. So figure out exactly how much you need and then go back and do that. Now, for those of you who are really, really serious about this, in the B video, this is the A video, in the B video, I am going to show you the true, full nature of this ritual. It's going to involve using all of the 9 worlds. It's going to involve using all of the entities in the 9 worlds. And you're going to go through all of the 9 worlds in 9 days. And I can guarantee you this. If you do the full-fledged ritual that I'm going to share with you in the next B video, you will be transformed. I guarantee you. You will be transformed when it comes to money. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you will definitely not be the same person after you go through that as you were when you started. Now, if you're afraid of transformation, real transformation, then stick with this ritual that I've just given you. You will still be transformed, and for all I know, it might bring you everything that you want. If you're not afraid of real power, real magic, real transformation, then I need you to go to the B video. So if you're not familiar with that, go up here to neo.thunderwizard.com and follow the link, which will take you to the Manifestation Mastery course. That's where I have all of those videos where I get into the real nitty-gritty of how to manifest. Okay? So for the real 9-world transformational Fehu Rune ritual, go to the Manifestation Mastery course and see the B video for that. I'll see you over there.